Welcome everyone to this three-way edition of This Week in Geek. Happy Saturday. Thank you for joining us, or happy Monday. Thank you for joining us if you're listening to us on Spotify as you're doing your commute, as you're going to the gym, as you're taking a jog, as you're doing anything and everything. Thank you for joining us no matter where you are or where you're hearing or seeing us from. Of course, my name is Ran Geekness. That's not my legal name, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host Zach Pope. How are you doing today, Zach?
I'm good, man. I'm be ditching out a little bit early to go see a movie that you liked called The Bad Guys.
Really
liked. I'm hoping it's good. I got to drive about 35 minutes for it, so I really want to like it. So
you're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna enjoy it. And of course, we're joined by someone who's making their first appearance on this show. He has been with us before on another now deceased podcast, but all the way from down under, it's Patrick Burrow. How are you doing, Patrick?
G'day, guys. How are we all doing? It's great to be here. I'm doing really well. Thank you so much for inviting me on. It's always a pleasure.
Of course, it's always a pleasure to have you. And of course, you guys know how this works. There's a new place for you to leave your questions for the back half of the show. That's on the community tab. And as there are three of us today, you can leave your questions on my community tab, Zach's community tab, Patrick's community tab, whatever you want, as the live chat is exclusive now for the weekly rankings and for your conversations amongst yourselves.
And super chats.
And super chats or tip links. Those obviously will be answered as you are supporting the show if you do decide to donate something to the show. But of course, speaking of weekly rankings, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to start the show with our weekly rankings. Zach, last week I started, so why don't you go ahead this week first?
Sweet. I have nothing. I have like a couple of things, so this will be pretty fast. I took a break from movies this week.
All right.
So at the bottom, I interviewed the man, the myth, the legend for this film, Father Stu. The movie's fine. He's the best part about it, and that's why when I did my review, I didn't want to just shit on it. I wanted to focus more on the importance of the true story that he wanted to make, because he's been trying to make this film since The Fighter. There's like, for me, I'm really like I grew up in a Catholic and Christian home, so a lot of these faith-based movies that they come out with, I fucking hate. I literally despise them, because you watch them and you're like, this is bullshit. And I don't remember the last one, but there was one I think 2 years ago that came out, and I got invited to go to the press screening. I didn't know it was a faith-based film. Went and saw it. Nothing wrong with faith-based, but they're just shit. And within 10 minutes of them saying God, Jesus, religion, all this stuff, like just mentioning Jesus 30 times in the first 10 minutes, I knew what I was into. I said, fuck, this is one of those movies. And I hated it because it doesn't take itself seriously, where I think Father Stu, while it has more issues more on the backside of the writing and the directing, the actual story itself, it is R-rated. He went for that R rating. So it is, in the end, it is a faith-based movie, but it's probably one of the best ones. So I enjoyed it for what it was. I will never watch this movie again. Like that's how I feel. But I will say audiences will love this. I think right now it's at like a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes for audiences. So take that as what you will. Coming in next is The Walking Dead. I'm finally catching up on it. Just kind of like the last 5 episodes of season 11. This is way above Father Stu. I am actually shocked how good this season is. I put it off for a while because I don't like this arc in the comic that well, so I was just like, I'll just binge it. But they're doing something a little bit different that is actually better than the comics. What happens when you go from living in your corrupted fucking everyone's equal society, everyone's just working together to survive, but then you find a town that has like 50,000 people, they have technology, they have jobs, they have an actual government, and then you get integrated in there and you aren't equals anymore. Some of you are lowest of the totem pole, some of you are the highest of the totem pole. They actually do interesting stuff with that I actually wanted more in the comics, so I gotta give them a shout out to where that is. I still have one big issue with the show, but I'm not going to say what it is because I'm planning on doing a video once I'm done with the season. So up next, we have Moon Knight episode 3. Fantastic fucking episode. Amazing. I'm loving this show. I don't know if Patrick's been watching it, so I'm not going to talk spoilers. And at my number one
to binge them, right?
Yeah.
I have been watching Moon Knight, and I have quite the amount of issues with it for myself personally.
Wow. Okay.
I don't want to talk
It's one of my least favorite MCU shows right now, personally.
Wow, that's a hot take.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk to him now. So My number one though is The Northman. It's perfect. This is Robert Eggers' best movie to date. In every single way. And I never thought I'd say that because I love The Witch. I love The Witch and I really adored The Lighthouse, but this is like, it's a Robert Eggers Viking film, but it's badass. It gets better as it goes on. The cinematography is absolutely incredible. There's two things that I was so amazed by. It was one, the night sequences and the way that they frame those are so stunning. And then the last 20 minutes is jaw-dropping. I was truly floored by this entire film. So that's at my number one. It's a 3-way tie for my number one of the year.
Alrighty. I'm going to go next, so we leave Patrick some time to prepare his. My worst of the week is I watched as I was editing something. I don't remember what anymore, but I watched the Netflix original film that came out last week, Metal Lords. It sucks. It's really bad. It's generic as shit. It has a cool soundtrack because I'm a metalhead, but that's really it. Nothing really to take away from it. Over that, I am going to have, let me check my notes. I'm going to have Paris 13th District. This is a black and white French movie, so nobody else is going to watch it, but it came out at LFF last year. I was interested. It's a movie that it's an hour and 45 minutes movie that for the first 30 minutes, it feels rather disjointed and it doesn't feel like it's getting started. But once a certain character is presented, that's when the film gets going, and then it's really good. Over that, I'm going to have the new Netflix Unlimited series that came out yesterday, Anatomy of a Scandal. It's a British courtroom drama. I love that shit, so I ate it up for the most part. It's really in the last episode, and it's only 6 episodes, where my issues came into being. Over that, I am going to have The Sadness. If you have not seen this film, if you have not heard of this film, don't search for it. Just ask for a screener. The Sadness, it's a Taiwanese horror film from a debut director. It's fucking nuts. I swear to you, you have never seen anything as wild as this film. Again, don't search for anything. Just ask for it. It's coming out on Shudder over here. I asked for a screener. It's coming out next month here on Shudder, so it might be a Shudder exclusive over there as well. So if you guys love violence on screen, if you guys love your horror films, definitely search for this one. It's not the subtlest film. Like you clearly can't miss the message, what it's trying to say, but it's really fucking fun. And over that, it's really fucking fun. I watched The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent this week, but the review can only come out on Monday, so you'll have to wait for my review on that one. Over that, I am going to have X-Men, the original X-Men. Just put out the review for it yesterday. As we're heading into Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, I'm going to be reviewing every single X-Men movie, so watch out for that one. And it still holds up 85% through 22 years later. And it's just a really good movie. Over that, Moon Knight episode 3. Love all the episodes this far. Cannot wait for you guys to finally see episode 4 next week. This is probably my personal favorite episode overall. The final 10 minutes of next week's episode, those are probably the best 10 minutes of any of the Moon Knight episodes. But this show continues to kill it. The best paced show that they've put out, blah, blah, best performances, very different. It's a proper anti-hero story in the MCU, which they've never done before. So I just love this show, and I'm very happy that a character that I love is being brought to life in a great way. And number one, The Northman, seen it twice now, unreal. This film is unfucking real. It's a sublime piece of movie storytelling by Robert Eggers. The Witch is still better, because The Witch is fucking flawless, and that's my second favorite horror movie of all time. But
fun fact, real fast. Did you see his interview about the Witch, about his other 2 films?
No.
I'm just curious if you did. It's very interesting because he said he hates The Witch because he didn't have a budget to make it. No, I know. That's what I was so shocked. He goes, I didn't have the budget to make the movie I wanted, so I don't like that film. which is insane because like
It's his first
the
movie.
argument
Of
can
course he
still be
didn't have
made.
the-
Yeah. So he likes The Lighthouse still though.
Yeah, I love the Lighthouse. He only
Lighthouse
makes
is great.
bangers. This man, 3 for 3 right now he is. But yeah, The Northman comes into my number one. And don't ask me if I prefer it or the Batman. I still haven't made up my mind on that, and I'm only gonna make up my mind when I really have to worry about it at the end of the year, unless something else comes ahead of it. Patrick, what's your weekly ranking, my friend?
Okay, so unlike Zach and Ren, I will not have the Northman on here because I don't see that till my screening this coming Wednesday. So
You're in for a
I,
treat.
well, I'm seeing Firestarter, Stephen King's new movie, right beforehand as well, which
Nice.
I'm really excited for. But at the bottom of my list this week, I'm probably going to have, what is it? I was just talking to Ren about this before. I binged the entirety of Attack on Titan, and this is one of the most blech shows. Like, yes, I'm wearing a shirt, but that's because I think the characters and the animation are good. Otherwise, the plot and the characters are absolutely atrocious 9 times out of 10. It's just not very entertaining to watch. And it's just a lot of filler that just isn't very interesting at all. I watched a lot of anime this week, actually, if I'm being honest. But next up, I have what is it? Sonic 2. This is a major step up. I love Sonic 2. This is my 3rd time seeing it. I had an absolute blast seeing this movie again. I think Idris Elba as Knuckles is easily the highlight of the movie, alongside Jim Carrey once again as Robotnik. I think this is such a fun movie, and me being a fan of the games as a kid, hearing the original voice actress who played Tails from the games playing Tails in this movie is also a treat to my ears. But I just think what they did with this movie is so much fun. And if you're a Sonic fan, in case you haven't seen, I won't spoil it. But the ending of this movie, the climax and the mid-credit scene are literally like
Mid-credit scene, man.
things almost went from PG-13 to R very fast with me. Like, it was that exciting. Next up, I'm going to have what is it? The season finale of My Dress Up Darling, which I finally finished. This is a slice of life anime it's a slice of life anime that I personally really, really loved. It only just finished and absolutely wiped the floor with the Winter Anime Awards in 2022. And it's got one of the best romance stories, I think, because it actually takes the time to develop characters that, in regards to their personalities and passions, are on either side, but form a very unconventional friendship that eventually becomes something more, but they're afraid to admit it to each other. And the final episode from the 11 episodes previously was just the cherry on top. It was so sweet. It was so pure. But the ending just made me so mad because it sort of broke my heart as well. In case you haven't seen it, I do highly recommend you all check it out. Next up, I have Spy X Family Episode 1. I think this is a really good new anime that is getting a lot of flack for, I think, really stupid reasons in regards to like the whole father-daughter thing. Like, sure, she's happy and he's happy. They're father and daughter. Just leave it alone. But I think what they're doing with it, I'm interested to see where it goes. I'm still questioning a lot of things, but I think it's really good so far. Next up, I have episode 1 of Shikimori's Not Just a Cutie, another anime which is new to Crunchyroll as an original that has a story that, if you watch the opening credits, does kind of have spoilers in it. But otherwise, I think it's just one of the purest and sweetest animes I think I've seen so far. The 2 main characters, one of them clearly having more than meets the eye, and the other one being a major klutz and just has a big bad luck charm to him, provides a really sweet sort of relationship between the 2 of them that I'm really excited to see continue as well. And the animation as well is just so beautiful. I couldn't even believe what I was watching. And finally, I watched the entirety as my number 1 pick this week, and with my ranking is, I'm going to say, all 4 seasons and 2 movies of Data Live, an anime that I had not continued for a while. But because the new season's now premiering, I binged all of them while at work this week on my breaks. You remember Data Live?
Yeah, I do. I'm not caught up on it, but no, I never liked it, so.
Oh, you upset me, Zach. I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Well, you don't like Moon Knight, so you upset me.
Yeah. Gotta say,
Data Live has better characters.
I want to fly to Australia.
Well, I can't comment on that. I've never heard of this thing.
And beat you with a stick.
Jesus Christ.
We deal with worse things than beating with sticks. We have gigantic house spiders.
Yeah, he lives in Australia. You gotta raise up the bar.
And that's like the main reason I never want to go there. Like I just.
Oh, it's my dream destination over the.
I want to go there. but
Yeah.
not because of the fucking spiders and some other shit I hear.
Obviously, but I still want to go.
We get spiders bigger than my hand in my garage on like a weekly basis.
Nice. That's cool.
It's not
That's
nice.
cool.
It's not nice. I have to grab my steel caps and throw them at a wall.
You make me never want to come now, because that's.
What if I took you swimming with sharks instead? Because we've got the shark cages.
Yes. I would kill myself.
Yes.
I've been swimming with sharks. It's beautiful, Zach. My dreams to go swimming with great whites.
That sounds amazing. All right, let's go to. Are you done?
You do have a super chat. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I am. Data Live was my number one.
Holy shit. Oh, hang on. I started playing the video on my phone. A piece sends in a super chat. Show full design tee. I mean, mine has nothing on it. Mine is just a plain white shirt. So Zach, show us your full design, my friend.
Here it is.
Goku.
Dragon Ball Z Goku.
The greatest anime of all time.
Yes. And then Patrick, I think you want to show yours.
Hang on, let me take Zach out of the solo layout. And Patrick, show us yours.
Just
Attack on Titan. The most.
No matter how much it polarizes me, it's a major love-hate relationship.
I was going to say the most awful anime of all time. It's not.
It's not the worst ever. I've seen way worse.
Like, for all its story faults, the animation is sensational. I'll say that.
Oh yeah, Mappa, Studio Mappa with season 4 in particular has done phenomenal.
Studio Mappa is great. They're also doing a great job with Jujutsu Kaisen. All right. Weekly rankings. Eric Thorpe. Weekly ranking number 1, Game of Thrones season 7, episodes 2 through 5. Number 2, Fantastic Beasts 3. Number 3, Fantastic Beasts 2. Number 4, Fantastic Beasts 1 under 2. Holy shit! Okay,
I agree.
Yikes! No. Number 5, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Well, everywhere except in the UK apparently, because I still can't watch it. And I know people are saying, "Oh, they announced we're getting a release date soon." I don't care about soon. I care about knowing what the release date is. Okay. Number 6, Source Code, and number 7, Moon Knight Episode 3. By the way, Eric says he didn't dislike the episode. He just watched good stuff this week. Which apart from Crimes of Grindelwald, I agree. You did only watch good stuff this week. Movie Fan. Number 1, Shaun of the Dead. Number 2, Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. Number 3, Being the Ricardos. Number 4, Slaughterhouse Rules. I don't like that movie. And number 5, Target Number 1, which I've never heard about until just now. Are any of you familiar with Target Number 1?
Nope.
No.
Alrighty. Nate Ankenbauer. Number 1, last 4 episodes of Severance. Okay, I was confused there for a sec before I saw Severance. Number 2, Fellowship of the Ring. Number 3, Moon Knight Episode 3. And number 4, no, there's not and number 4. Number 4, Eastbound and Down, which I've never seen, Season 3. And number 5, X 2022. I wasn't as high on X as everyone else. Me neither. I liked it. I think it's a solid movie, but overall, it's just very flawed. Have you seen X, Patrick?
Oh, yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great. It's one of my favorite movies of the year.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be your jam.
Yeah.
Now that I was thinking about it.
He actually auditioned for it.
Yeah, I auditioned for the grandma.
I thought you auditioned for Wayne, because Wayne, the actor, is also Australian, but he does this really cool southern accent. And I was like very shocked to know that it wasn't his actual accent.
I auditioned for the grandma who wanted to fuck everyone and everything.
All righty, and that's one of the worst movie villains I've ever seen. Because if I blow on her face, she'll stumble down the mountain.
I'll be making this podcast explicit when I upload it to Anchor.
All right, Joe Fletcher, number 8, House of Gucci, still terrible. You watched it again, brother. I mean, you're a stronger man than I'll ever be. Number 7, X-Men. Number 6, Secrets of Dumbledore over X-Men. All right. Number 5, Call Me by Your Name, amazing movie. Number 4, Into the Spider-Verse, amazing movie. Number 3, Grand Budapest Hotel, also amazing movie. Number 2, Dune, and number 1, Dunkirk. How fucking dare you? Stop this madness. Stop it. I don't like your attitude, Patrick. Gico EP. I haven't seen much this week, so my weekly ranking. Number 3, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Number 2, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. That's the correct name, sir. And number 1, Moon Knight Episode 3. I agree there. That's how I would rank it. Yeah, that's definitely how I would rank it. Are there any others? No, there are not any others. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we're done with weekly rankings. I will leave myself down on the bottom part of the chart to see if anyone still wants to send any others in. But now let's get to our discussion. Let's get to what we're here to argue over, to become mortal enemies over. Are we
Another
getting
one.
another one?
Another
Are
one.
we get no? It's more like another one. Are we getting another Fantastic Beasts movie? This entire franchise has been a very rocky road. It's been an entire roller coaster with issues in the movies, outside of the movies. We're going to have to dive a bit into the issues outside the movies, but the biggest issue we need to discuss is that Warner Brothers themselves, they announced it this week. They want to see how Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore does in the United States, which it only came out this week in the United States. Suck it. They want to see how it does to decide if they're going to make a fourth one. We're not going to dive into spoilers for Secrets of Dumbledore today, but if you've seen it, it ended in a way where they can comfortably leave it where it is. They can comfortably leave it there, and you just can fill up the rest of the pieces in your head. But they also leave it open enough to where if they want to do a fourth one, the map is there for them to follow that roadmap, not just map, roadmap.
Mm-hmm.
So I will say this. I was quite a big fan of the original Fantastic Beasts. I was like, yes, this is what I want from a new Wizarding World film. Not that it doesn't have its flaws. I think it does very much have its flaws. It's a good movie. It's quite the enjoyable film. It's not a great film. But even at the time, 9 movies into the Wizarding World franchise, and there wasn't a bad one, if you ask me, at that time. Then came Crimes of Grindelwald. And that just made a whole mess of not only the movie in itself, but made a whole mess of the chronology of the franchise itself. A lot of stuff doesn't make sense in there. Like Professor Minerva McGonagall is somehow teaching at Hogwarts minus 13 years before she's supposed to have been born. And that's just a fucking headache. This film, Secrets of Dumbledore, is a course correction. Mm-hmm. It's a film that you can very much feel like they're trying to save this half-sunken ship. And so I thought the film was good, but how good the film is in itself is kind of a miracle that it was a good film. So I think we've done enough of a course correction where it has left this franchise heading in a direction that is quite exciting. It's actually finally going to get to the meat and potatoes of what this story has always been. That's the eventual confrontation of Dumbledore and Grindelwald, and it's about their tragic love story. That's what this is, and it's great when it focuses on that. So are we getting a new one? I don't know, because I have no idea how it's tracking. I have no idea what it's supposed to be doing. I have no idea what they want this film to do, because Crimes of Grindelwald was not well received for good reason. But
and it didn't do good at the box office either.
I think it only earned something like $400 million at the box office.
Yeah, worldwide. It was a big disappointment. But it's still like it got its money back. It made some profit. It made very minimal profit, but it made some.
Oh wow, it made more than I thought. It made $654.9 million.
Yeah.
And Secrets of Dumbledore is currently sitting at $57 million worldwide, with $6 million at the US box office on Thursday previews.
And what was the budget? If
$200 million.
Yeah. So
it's not tracking well, but Crimes of Grindelwald was a disappointment. It was the lowest the franchise ever made. So Secrets of Dumbledore is in this tricky situation where now I would like to see more. I'm not clamoring.
I want to ask you, do you think the COVID up curve that a lot of these studios are using still counts for this, or do you think it needs to make what it should make?
I think it needs to make what it should make.
Yeah, I general rule: a movie needs to make triple its budget to make a profit. That's what it needs to
I'm
be.
just asking because like a lot of the films within the last year and a half, they should have made more. Dune should have made more, and technically Dune didn't really make its budget back. It made almost its budget back, but because of how successful it was on HBO Max and stuff,
That's
they
the
gave
thing.
it.
Dune also had
So
the HBO Max thing, so
okay.
that didn't help. But this film has got a lot of hurdles to overcome. So I find myself in this position where I'm not clamoring for it because, again, the way they end this film, it's satisfying enough, I guess. But I would like to see more, only because I never root for a film or for a franchise to fail. And I wanted to be in love with this world, with this franchise again. For the most part, this film allowed me to have that. But I still think they got a lot of other issues that might get in the way of that. Zach, what's your perspective on this? Do you think we will get a fourth one? What do you see this film overcoming the hurdles that it needs to, like box office wise, the controversies surrounding it? What do you think?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think so. So here's my opinion. After seeing the first movie, I was not a fan of that first movie. I actually enjoyed Crimes of Grindelwald, but here's the thing. I enjoy setup films and then being excited to see what that third film will be. Going back now, the second movie fucking sucks even more now because half the shit they set up wasn't even in the third movie. Like almost like my girlfriend, she saw the first one and then she went and saw the third one with me. She watched a recap of the second one. She didn't even need to do that because the only big thing that kind of goes into there is Queenie and why she went to the other side. But like,
and a quick reference to Lethal Strange dying, and that's it.
Like very, very strong. Like, so it wasn't like that big of a thing to watch. And for me, I feel like the biggest issue that this whole entire franchise has had was having J.K. Rowling write the scripts for the first two films. Terrible choice. Alone. Where this one, they got Steve Kloves back from who wrote the original Harry Potters. Thank God. Because he knows how to write a script, and you can totally tell he's doing 2 times the work here, trying to reset the film franchise as well, which as good as you can do, I think he did a great job for that. A lot of my stuff has stemmed from, I think David Yates should not be directing these fucking movies anymore. I think he needs to get off this franchise. I think this becomes the point where we need that fresh blood. Fuck, bring back Karan. Bring, I don't know, someone else in here. I'd love to see Del Toro do a Harry Potter Wizarding World.
We'll get to directors in a bit.
Okay. So, but for me, I watched this one and I went, shit, I want more. I actually enjoyed my time with this. Again, as you said, Ren, if it ends here, it ends in a manner that you feel somewhat satisfied. But I want, that's a spoiler. I want a certain thing to happen. And I'm sure, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. There's a certain thing that has been told in the mythology for two people's destiny, and I want that. I want that really badly.
We can talk about that because we know eventually Dumbledore and Grindelwald face each other. They fight.
Okay, I want that. I want to see that full fight because I do feel the marketing was kind of bullshit for this movie, and they show a lot from the third act. Yeah, I went back and watched every single trailer. And they show a lot from the third act, and all that stuff you're saying, okay, we're gonna see them fight. You see them fight for like less than 5 minutes, which again, entertaining. Very well done.
It makes sense in the film.
Yes.
I will say this, though, for us here in the UK, because I remember I was in line for The Northman ahead of my screening this past Monday, and the final trailer for Fantastic Beasts Secrets of Dumbledore came out when it had already come out here in the UK. The film was already out here. So that trailer, that final trailer that WB put out, it was clearly only for the American audience. So it's interesting that they decided to put that out. And it shows a lot. Yeah. For sure.
And so do the Northman trailers, as a heads up. Do not watch any of those.
Oh, God. I've never seen any of the trailers.
That's how
you can watch the first trailer. You can watch the first trailer.
I don't even think
I'm staying away. I don't know anything, and I want to know nothing.
I'm not telling you watch the I'm not telling you watch the trailer, but I'm saying you can watch the first one.
Yeah, no, I'd prefer to stay away from trailers more these days than anything else because I'm just fucking sick of being spoiled with everything in regards to marketing nowadays. And Crimes of Grindelwald was not Crimes of Grindelwald, fuck off. The Secrets of Dumbledore was a big one of that. I completely agree that the marketing for this movie was completely ridiculous because more than 50% of the third act of The Secrets of Dumbledore was shown in that final trailer because it was like we need this big big trailer to like market it as this big high octane action magical blockbuster.
But that's not
in
what
the
Harry
end,
Potter's ever been.
That's
There's
exactly
action
right.
in Harry Potter, but like I never think that's the core crux of it. For me, I enjoyed this one enough to be like, I want another one. Do we need another
Mhm.
one? No. I just think the fact like Warner Brothers has a lot of fucking things going on right now. They are very disorganized with a lot of their different things.
Think?
The fact that I mean, not DC aside, how do you not greenlit Wizarding World shows for your HBO Max? Like there are common things in there.
Of this franchise.
But even then, you make it a different area. You make it after.
Doesn't matter.
Shit.
No, the franchise is damaged. You can't do that. You run a greater risk than you'll have a reward.
But the Wizarding fan base, I don't know. I think doing one show wouldn't hurt. I'm not talking doing another spin-off movie. I think a show. I think a show is so much different.
Do a show based on the modern day.
You're still associated with J.K. Rowling, and right now that name is damaging, which is a big reason why this film itself is suffering.
Well, and I will say this: I have friends who refuse to see this movie
exactly
because of J.K., but also because they fired Johnny Depp. That is a big part of it all.
Stupid.
Now, I get it. I mean, how fair is it that Amber Heard doesn't gets her job still? There's issues.
Doesn't matter. I'll tell you how fair that is because the court decided that Johnny Depp was guilty and she was innocent.
I get that, but there's evidence too towards Amber Heard. So it's like for me, they should.
Now there is because there's
always at the time there wasn't, and it's also the fact.
I'm not going to get into a total argument about that. There is audio of her saying doing shit towards him. I'm still very baffled that she clearly won that. We don't know the clear evidence that she gave to what Johnny did, and I'm curious to see if that comes out in America. But the evidence that he gave out, I mean, was very. They both should have been fired. They both should have been fired, hands down. And that's their reasoning for why, because they're not going to watch Aquaman 2. I don't believe them. Personally, I don't fucking believe them, but I mean, but I get it. They're not watching this, and I understand why. And honestly, they've only watched one Warner Brothers movie since. They didn't go see the Batman. They saw Dune because they support Denis Villeneuve. These are people who aren't big on film either. They watch what they want. They usually watch all the blockbusters, but they didn't see the Batman. They didn't see Matrix. They didn't see a lot because they do not want to.
I mean, they didn't lose anything by not watching the Matrix.
I personally
don't agree. They got off better by not watching the Matrix.
Yeah, I mean, I said, I think Mads is a better version of Grindelwald, but
Mads is a better version of 99.9% of things.
There's
Mads
two
is
things
an
wrong
upgrade from you, me, Patrick. This could be 3 Mads Mikkelsen, and the show would be better. I'm not ashamed to admit that.
But I don't know. I just think, and then you have Ezra Miller too, which is a whole other fucking can of worms. That he shouldn't even be in this franchise anymore. He shouldn't even be fucking working anymore. No. Out of anyone that should have been fired. I mean, there's clear evidence of what he fucking did on tape, in going around on the internet. You know, Amber Heard and Johnny Depp
defending him still because he's Flash
type of thing. So
you still got people defending him because he's Flash, and they want the Snyderverse to happen, which I'm just tired of bloody seeing at this point.
I'm over
that. That doesn't
but
matter.
I don't know. This film's not going to make its money back. Flat out. It's done. It's not.
Got a
it's not
super chat from Max Bolton. Thank you for supporting the channel, Max. I feel post Aquaman 2, Amber Heard will be fired.
Well, with the current court case that's going on in regards to her and Depp, she's losing big time.
Yeah.
By
the time this court, because that was a UK trial, that's what she won, and now there's a US trial.
Yeah.
By the time this US trial ends, Aquaman 2 will be done shooting. So I don't. If they are going
they're done already. It's all
post-production.
If they are, but they're going to do reshoots. If they are, let's say, if she loses this US trial, they don't even need to wait for post Aquaman 2. They can fire her as sound as that is done, provided they don't need her for reshoots. I will say.
Well, I'll say this. I mean, I have heard. And this was before a lot of this, that her she's not in it that much because they didn't know what they were gonna do. They didn't know what was gonna happen. So they wrote the script around where her character is in it enough, but not a ton.
Are you talking about Aquaman 2?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So maybe they wrote it to a point where like, I don't know. Warner Brothers really needs to get their shit down on other people. It's like, JK, you are making tons of money. Just shut the fuck up and leave. Just go. Like at this point,
So,
like
getting back to the point at hand, do you think we get another one? If we get another one, is it just Steve Kloves writing the script?
Do we get another one? No. If we do get another one, Kloves writes the script and David Yates directs again, which that should not happen. But
okay. All right, Patrick, what are your thoughts on this whole thing?
The thing is, I think this movie is going to be damaged big time for 2 reasons. 3 reasons actually. 1, unlike Dune and everything, it's not going to have that inflation from not being on HBO Max because that was a big thing that helped. And 2, because of J.K. Rowling's name being attached to it and all that she's said and done, she seriously just needs to put a cork in it. And then Johnny Depp being fired with this whole thing that's going on, which where I stand on the whole not seeing something because of one person involved or their name being attached to it, I think is the dumbest thing in the fucking world, because people then boycotting something for one person rather than the hundreds of people that worked on a project. I think that's very damaging to their careers. Like, for example...
Oh, I agree with that, yeah.
I put a PSA on a video I've got coming out this week because I reacted to fucking Jeepers Creepers. I'm not even going to name the director because of what he's done. He doesn't deserve to have his name mentioned. But what he's done is absolutely disgusting. But doesn't mean I'm not going to watch a movie, whether it's Aquaman 2 because of Amber Heard. Doesn't mean I'm not going to watch Fantastic Beasts because of Johnny Depp, Ezra Miller, you name it. Because I think that's very damaging to the hundreds of people that work on these projects as well that still deserve the recognition. You don't have to give the recognition to those people who did the wrongdoings. But at the same time, doesn't mean you have to, not give the other people credit. But in regards to this, these are clear indications that the movie's not going to perform well. For one, Crimes of Grindelwald didn't perform that well either. 600 million for a Wizarding World movie is really poor. And that's saying something. And with how it's tracking, like $6 million on Thursday previews in the US is actually very low from what I know. In regards to a film like
this. For a movie like this, if it was... I don't know. Let's say Everything Everywhere All at Once had made like 6 million on previews. That'd be awesome. That'd be, I think, incredible.
Yeah.
I think for a film like this, you'd be looking at what, Zach, like 12, 15 million?
So it's tracking from 40 to 50 opening weekend.
No. If we were talking about a blockbuster on Thursday previews, what would we be looking at? 12, 15 million would be the good.
So post-pandemic, not including Spider-Man, right now it's around 8 to 12 million. Like Batman only made Batman didn't make a ton opening, but on Friday it made a fuck ton of money. So where this movie, it's Saturday, typically estimates come out. They're not out. The only thing that's out is still a preview. So that's
probably
not good.
Still early. We'll probably still get.
I'll keep looking until I go, but it's still typically out. Like someone has the estimates, so that's.
But it's usually it only comes around when we're already on the live questions. I do remember that much. So
is the box are cinemas over on over there? Is that closed on Good Friday as well?
Hell no.
No?
Hell no.
No.
Because for us, that's a public holiday and everything.
I'll tell you right now,
that would affect it.
Out here, everything is open 24/7. Christmas, Hanukkah, Easter, Halloween, Thanksgiving, it don't matter.
I don't know about everything, but over here, cinemas as well. Like, cinemas don't close for any of that shit.
Shit, wait, ours do. Oh, well.
So, I don't know.
But God, Patrick, are we getting another one? No. You don't think?
I'd like to see another
one personally. Okay.
I'd love to. I'm a massive fan of this franchise, and I'm one of the people who defends Crimes of Grindelwald, even with all its wrongdoings. I really enjoy that movie, especially because a lot of its ambitions with the narrative, no matter how much it doesn't make sense. There's things in that movie I admire, and I do find it very enjoyable. But I think Secrets of Dumbledore was a major course correction. I even said to one of the people who are representing Warner Brothers at my screening that I went to for the premiere, I even said, like, from a lot of the issues that the first two movies had, because I don't like Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I don't like that movie. I said that this movie fixed a lot of what those movies did wrong and is setting it on a course where it feels like they finally have an idea of what they want to do with this franchise. They finally got a plan set in stone, whereas the previous two movies, it didn't feel that way. Here, they go in a way where, one, Mickelson, I think, is a better Grindelwald. I think Eddie Redmayne is way better in this movie than he was in the last two. I think that Jude Law is a fantastic young Dumbledore.
So
and
good.
the story that they told here as well is really interesting. And there are some things there as well, especially with Jacob, that I want to see continue, because there are certain things with him that I want to see get explored a little bit more. And there are a lot of characters like that in this movie. But unfortunately, due to the circumstances that I said before, I don't think we're going to get another one. And I think it's an unrealistic thing to say whether we will or won't, but it's not unheard of for a big franchise to then start the flop and then the final movie in a franchise never gets made. It's the same thing with TV series as well. And if it does get made, it could be years from now or it could be never.
Yeah.
So I personally don't think it will.
It's an interesting point that you brought up of a franchise that never sees the proper ending, where in terms of like big, supposedly big, movies that happened with, I can only remember one, and that's the Divergent franchise.
That's the one I literally.
That's the franchise that was for a while a laughingstock of movie fans of Hollywood, because this franchise, Fantastic Beasts, obviously is only one part of a bigger franchise in the Wizarding world, the Harry Potter. There's a really good connection there. It was when this first started, when these films first started, they were coming from a place of advantage. Harry Potter movies had just ended. People were clamoring for more, like, whatever you got, give us. And whatever they had, they gave us. So they came from a place of, they were in the audience's favor, you know? But the Divergent franchise was one that since the beginning, I don't think people hated the first one, but everyone was like, we're not that interested in this one. And they kept not being interested until the point where we never got that fourth one. We got a part one and never got a part two.
I honestly never even saw the Divergent movies. The one that came to mind for me was Percy Jackson.
Oh.
Because we never got the third or the fourth or the fifth one based on the books.
Yeah. But that one, I will say that one is not as embarrassing, I want to say, because that one, it was one movie and then it got a sequel and then it was done. Like the Divergent movies, they came on the high of the YA era. They came on the high where everyone was eating YA up. And funny enough, you then have a franchise that came out as the YA era was dying down in the Maze Runner franchise. And that franchise was actually pretty solid, if you ask me, overall. Nothing amazing. It's not Hunger Games. It's not. It didn't capture the imagination.
I hated those movies.
Many of the other. Really, the Maze Runner one.
I loved the books, and then I saw the movies, and I'm like, what the hell am I watching right now? And
I remember seeing that first movie. I remember seeing the first one, and like, this is pretty good. And then the second one was all right. And then the third one was pretty good as well. But again, nothing amazing. The Divergent ones, I think they stick out in memory where they're very embarrassing. Where I feel Percy Jackson, because it ended after 2, that's just very common. That, we did a sequel and then a third one never came. I don't think, if we don't get another one, which you guys are convincing me we're not going to get another one, but if Fantastic Beasts doesn't get a fourth movie, or a fourth and fifth movie for that matter, I still don't think it will be remembered as embarrassingly as Divergent, because Divergent was a matter of the audience was never that interested. The audience was never that interested. The audience never cared that much. And the audience didn't actually love you at any point in time. Like, that franchise was never like fully embraced or accepted. This was a franchise that had a ton of issues, like we discussed. It had issues with the story, how it was structured. It had issues inside and outside the films that got in the way of the films being made. So I think there's a lot of reasonable justification for this franchise not to end. Where Divergent was a franchise that people just didn't care. So people didn't care, so it just decided to disappear. I hope I'm wrong. I hope you guys are wrong, but I'm starting to lean towards what you said, that I don't think we're getting another one. And for what is worth, at least this one has a somewhat ending to it all. Like that final scene, I actually quite liked it, where, I'm not going to spoil anything, but we have
I loved it.
One of the characters, they're like, all right, he's looking on to a certain group of people is like, okay, this part of the story is done. I need to make shit happen now, and off that character goes on their merry way, and the franchise is done. Like, if you don't have another one, that final scene makes sense to close it all out, and then you put the pieces together in your head, because it's not that hard. Divergent was like, a big cliffhanger. Here we go. Now it's going down. Never happens.
It's like Firefly all over again.
Oh, Patrick, come on. Firefly got a movie to end it all.
At least we got Serenity. I was about to say, at least we got Serenity.
The good Serenity, not your Serenity, Zach. Not your Serenity.
I've actually never seen the Zach Serenity.
Oh, dude, you're missing out.
That's a reaction movie.
It really is.
Actually, believe it or not, it is on my list.
I wouldn't say that the entire film is worth reacting to, but just put a reaction to the reveal, because the rest of the film is very uneventful. Or at least from the reveal onwards.
The twist.
T-Tane. Yeah. T-Tane's in the next 3 weeks.
Oh, nice. T-Tane is so good. That's
a foreign film, isn't
it? French, yes.
Okay, subtitles are needed.
But it's fucking bonkers.
I'm excited.
It's fucking bonkers. But yeah, I don't think we're getting another one. I'm starting to go down the pessimistic route. But let's try and be optimistic for a second. If we got a fourth one, let's not even suggest we get the 5 movies that they originally planned out. Let's assume we do get one more, just one more. Zach, Steve Kloves is writing. Let's assume David Yates is gone, as he has said many times he would be gone from this franchise. Who do you bring in to direct the next one?
Del Toro.
I knew you were going to say
that. I mean, I would love Cuarón, but Del Toro's never done a Harry Potter movie. I think he was rumored at one point to do one. I think Cuarón came in. I think it was Azkaban. I think he was rumored to be in. But I just feel like Del Toro's magic that he brings to like the screen, and no matter what he does, would fit well into this world. And I think that is the type of, like, David Yates is a solid director. I mean, there's nothing going against him. I mean, he did some of the best Harry Potter movies. So that is like, I just think for me, like, you can't have someone, it's kind of like with the Russo brothers. I'm happy they left after Endgame. Wouldn't mind if they come back after doing a lot of other projects. Like, they did Cherry, they're doing The Gray Man right now. They have like 2 other projects in development. And for me, like, that's exactly what they should have gone and done, is done something else. Don't stick on one franchise for too long.
Like Christopher Nolan did. He did Batman Begins, he did The Prestige, he did The Dark Knight, he did Inception. He did Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what helps kind of bring back your creative field, like maybe try different things. And maybe if David Yates was doing that.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Zach got too close to the camera and decided to break.
We lost our good man.
No, I'm back. Am I back?
I mean, we can. You are.
Yeah, you're back.
Okay.
I was about to scream. I was on the phone with them for 2 hours yesterday. But yeah, I Del Toro, Steve Kloves, easily.
All right, Patrick. What about you?
So Steve Kloves writing. One, I think that having Cuarón back would be a really great idea, but I think having someone new to be in the directing chair as a whole, someone who's never been a part of this franchise, that bring their own flair, would be
run Geekness.
Yes.
Well, honestly, I would love to direct one of these films. Like Simon Kinberg should not have directed as his feature debut Dark Phoenix, I should not get to direct one of these films as my feature debut. Especially if it's one that's supposedly going to be the finale, like Dark Phoenix was. So
yes,
go ahead, Patrick.
But no, my choice, honestly, I think his directing style, especially from the footage we saw for his test footage for Ant-Man, I think Edgar Wright would be a brilliant choice to do a really good Wizarding World movie, because I'm just imagining not just the flair and the editing style with just the general like narrative-based scenes and conversations between people, but also his directing and visual style for like the magical sequences would literally be magical.
I actually am really curious to see when he I mean, he's never done a big blockbuster. He has, but in his own style. But I mean, when he comes into a franchise like this, I'm wondering what will be that franchise that he actually goes into. Will it be DC? Will it be the Wizarding World? Will it be, Marvel, Star Wars, like whatever you may say? But that's a really good pick. So
yeah,
I think he's meant to be doing Baby Driver 2 soon as well. I think
I don't know.
That's not
I don't think that's happening.
Because I saw stuff a while ago that there might be.
Baby's got himself into some trouble, man.
Unless you recast the main character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you don't recast Lily James. Lily James.
How about they just make it about Lily James?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Actually, okay, this is not either. I have two options. This is neither of them, but movie fans saying that Chloe Zhao should direct the Wizarding World film.
Fucking love that.
That's an amazing suggestion.
Yep.
I fucking love that movie fan.
I love that.
Shout out to you. All right. I have two options, and I'll tell you why I have two options. Because these movies, the Harry Potter ones too, but these movies especially, have always been a balance of the whimsical, the wondrous of the Wizarding World with the creature sides of it all, and then the more dark political thriller. This film, in many ways, Secrets of Dumbledore feels like a Western, where he's assembling this kind of magnificent five, in this case, to take down Grindelwald. And it's always been a mix of that. So I got two directors for it. One of them, you're going to feel like this guy is starting to feel like my pick for everything, but I think he would fit in this rather well, particularly if we're going if we keep going with the whimsical, wondrous part of it all. That is Jon Favreau. I think Jon Favreau would do a great job, and like his first supposedly big movie, at least for Warner Brothers, like not in Disney, not a Disney live action remake, not an MCU. Not a DC rival at all.
See, and he was supposed to make that Kingdom Defenders, Kingdom Keepers.
Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. And I'm so sad he never did that, because that book series is fucking Harry Potter in Disneyland. It's literally about kids who stay in Disneyland after it closes, and everything comes to life. All the characters, and you find out Maleficent is trying to take over. Like, he is right up the alley to do Harry Potter or Wizarding World film. So great pick.
I think he'd be really good. And then my other suggestion is a Warner Brothers darling. This person clearly knows dark, but with what he did with a certain superhero movie, clearly knows fun and whimsy, and to just deliver a fun experience. James Wan. James Wan to direct a big fourth Fantastic Beasts movie. He has done big scale incredibly well. He has done small scale intimacy incredibly well as well. I even think I like it more than Jon Favreau for this specific franchise. But when Jon Favreau came to mind, I still thought it was a worthy mention. All right, before we move on, Merc Lee, thank you for supporting the channel, my man. With physical media slowly dying, are you guys still collecting physical media?
Of course.
Hell yes, brother. Hell yes, these are the two latest editions. Shout out to Paramount UK for this one, but this one I paid for it myself. And I already pre-ordered the Northman Steelbook, which is available for pre-order on Zavi UK. If any of you watching are from the UK, go on that one. And I would take more of my physical media from down there, but I would have to rummage around. And most of my physical media is back in Portugal. I still don't have it all over here, but hell yes, still collect physical media.
I couldn't find a 4K or a Steelbook for No Way Home. They were all sold out within like the first 2 hours at my local store. So I had to buy the really ugly artwork.
Damn.
The just standard cover and standard.
I still don't have a certain Steelbook from my favorite movie of last year. I'm still holding out hope that they restock it.
Which one?
Because I didn't get it in time. But yeah.
Oh, I didn't even bother buying Doom.
But are you still buying physical media, Patrick?
Oh, of course. I just picked up my Blu-ray, my limited edition Blu-ray for Demon Slayer, the movie Mugen Train, and I'm so happy it's finally out. I'm so happy it's finally out.
How about you?
I was waiting.
That's all.
Yeah, that's all of them. That's
I
all
thought you
of
were playing
them.
to the Gengar.
Everything. Yes, I collect physical media
Yes.
for everything. Video games, movies, it doesn't
Hashtag
matter.
long live physical. Yes, video games too.
Yeah.
I don't have.
But
I don't have
that's
a video
another
game.
thing. Like,
But
I
hang
think
on,
people
hang on. This counts. This counts as physical media. Go ahead with what you're trying to say, Zach.
The thing people forget, like, video games are physical media, and a big piece of that is I really recommend games because those actually hold their value way more. I found a sealed copy of Evil Within Special Edition the other day, and I'm actually gonna send it in and get it graded because it's like really well done. That thing's gonna be fucking worth something because that's like slip cover everything. Like, I was so fucking shocked that no one.
You know what
opened
else
it.
is physical media and it's awesome? Comic books.
Comics.
Baby.
Hey,
Comic
I have a
books
bunch
are
too.
fucking awesome.
I have a lot too.
And I love comic books.
These are the
And
two I'm on
manga,
right now.
light
These are the
novels.
two I'm on right now.
Nice.
So
That's the latest one. That's the current
yeah.
Moon Knight run, which I also just got.
I just
week.
finished the Captain America,
Boom.
Spider-Man, and Wolverine one.
Nice. Now I'm just going to decide to show them all. I'm not going to be done until I show them all. We're almost done, I swear. Because I don't have them all over here. That's more Power Rangers ones. Last one.
Is it sad I spent like $250 on all like 23 volumes of the High School DxD light novels?
No, that's what you wanted to spend.
Yeah, but
Yeah, exactly.
It's just what High School DxD is.
But hell yes. Forever physical media. Thanks for
media.
supporting the channel and for your question, Mark.
Oh,
all right. Yes.
Even old video games.
Yeah.
Old video games.
Nice.
This was $400, by the way.
Holy fuck! You're
Fuck
insane.
that. That's
this is one of the old PAL versions. This is also the French edition of the original Resident Evil on PS1.
All right.
But
so we got our director suggestions. We got our say whether we're getting another one or not. But even though we believe we're not getting another one, even though we believe this is the end of it all, I know Patrick would want another one. I know I want another one. Zach, would you want another one?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, the title of my video for my review was literally, I want more. I want more. I never thought, I literally never thought I would say that, like walking out of one of these movies. But because after walking out of two, I'm like, just do one more and just close it up.
Yeah.
You know,
I remember I was with you because before seeing this one, if they had not done the course correction, if they headed down the path where the second one left off, because nothing fucking happens in the second one, you could have very well written something that did it all, finished it all in this one, in this third one. But they didn't. They want to do more. There's actually a proper story being told.
They want to do two
one.
more. That's what they announced was 5 films. So
I know. But I think they got to swallow their pride. And if they have the profit to do another one, if the audience tells them, hey, we want more, like you said, Zach, I think find a good balance in that, because you can end it in the next.
I'm gonna
the way this one left off, you can have a certain time jump where you just start us off at a certain point and then boom.
I want to ask you guys this. Will it still be called Fantastic Beasts if they do another one? Or do they make Dumbledore the main character going forward?
Both.
Still think
it's going to be called Fantastic Beasts because you see the logos ever since the first one. Fantastic Beasts is this small thing on top of the logo, and then it's the Crimes of Grindelwald and the Secrets of Dumbledore. Like the first one was Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find.
Whereas it's the opposite way for Harry Potter, where Harry Potter's big and then the subtext is really small. So
what would you guys name the next one?
The porno of Grindelwald.
The Ballad of Broken Hearts. Because it's a tragic love story. Lean into that shit. That shit is compelling.
Unless you're watching it in China.
Well,
yeah.
Don't watch it in China. Come watch it when movies are made for everyone.
Yes.
That's a cool title. I don't know if that's a cool title for the Fantastic Beasts movies, but that's a cool title.
Fantastic Beasts and the Ballad of
Broken Hearts.
Of Broken Hearts. Yes.
Fantastic
All
Beasts.
right, let us know what you would title the fourth Fantastic Beasts.
Everyone, including
Gentlemen,
J.K. Rowling.
Did we have our say? Do we want to put any more thoughts, any more points about this out there? Are we done? Are we ready for the questions?
I'm good.
All righty then. Let's start with your live questions that you guys left in the community tab. And let's start. I have 21 questions. Well, I know I have 21 comments, but I know some people asked several questions in just one comment. So let's start with
3 questions.
Nathan Holton. And the next 4 questions are all by Nathan Holton. And he starts with opinions on the Warner Bros. Discovery merger and what they want to do with DC. The merger itself, like, we're not going to feel the effect of it all until like 2 years from now, or even a year from now. A year from now, I'd say we'll start seeing the effects of it. I think the merger itself right now, it's official. Like, it happened, it's done. Now they officially have 2 owners, and we already started seeing a lot of executives get sacked. In great part because of what they did for the 2021 movies to be released day and date. Regarding what they want to do with DC, we've all seen a ton of these talks happen for the past few years. When Hamada took over from Sujihara, he said also a lot of good things. I want to revamp, and I want to do more, and I want to do something. Yeah, sure. I'll believe it when I see it at this point. Zach, what about you?
Like you said, we're not going to see anything for probably 3 years or so at the earliest.
Oh, you're saying 3, all right.
Yeah, because most films aren't coming out for the next 1 to 2. I think we'll start seeing who's going to be in charge, who's going to be developing DC, who's going to be their Kevin Feige that they're saying they want. But what films get announced, what films don't get announced, what goes forward. World.
We lost him again. Zach.
Let me know
back.
if you hear me. Okay. You guys got to talk because I don't know when I go out.
You know.
But yeah, so I guess we'll see. Bring it on. Let make it better. My biggest problem with DC has always been this. I go see a movie and I know they want to do a franchise, and I walk out, I'm like, cool, I'll probably never see something else to that. And that's how it always remains. Amazes me. Like, I think one of the things they talked about, Superman. How in the fuck have we not gotten another Superman movie? Your biggest iconic superstar besides Batman, and one movie.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed Henry gets to come back, but I have no hope.
Patrick?
I'm with Zach on this. We're not going to see anything for a bloody while, and I just don't think there's any point really dwelling on it right now for that reason. I just really don't care either. I'm just sort of tired of hearing about it at this point. I'm just exhausted seeing all of it on Twitter, and it's one of the reasons why I've sort of stepped away from Twitter, because it's just the same crap every
Twitter
day.
is exhausting. You are a very much wealthier man than us in terms of your.
I literally go on Twitter just these days. The only reason I really go on Twitter is to see the upcoming movies that are coming out that have been announced, and for updates on anime I should watch on Funimation and Crunchyroll. That's it.
All right, Zach, what's the next question?
Next question we have: over the week we lost legendary comedian. This is from Lady Aaron, by the way.
Oh,
he's cut out again.
Just as he said who it was from. I don't know who he lost. Who did we lose? Legendary comedian.
It was Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh, it was Gilbert Gottfried. Yeah, for sure. Blanked on that one, didn't I? That one, I had 2 screenings this week. That one was either right after The Northman, like I came out and saw it, or after Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. I don't remember which one, but it was one or the other. I'm going to assume Lady Aaron was going to ask what was our favorite performance of his. I'm going to be honest. I know Gilbert Gottfried, but I don't know a lot of his performances. Like, his performance to me is Iago in Aladdin. So he's back. Zach's back.
There he is.
I'm just getting mad now. So let me finish my thing real fast, and then pretty much what's your favorite moment from him, favorite performance, and all that stuff.
Favorite moment? I don't know. To me, it's Iago from Aladdin. That's the one I know. Other than that, he participated in a ton of the roasts. He did a ton of comedy, but I wouldn't know too much about that. Zach? Oh, no, we lost him again.
Oh, no. Zach.
Fuck. Patrick, what about you?
Look, mine's obviously going to be Iago. Like, him and Robin Williams in particular were just the breathing lights of that movie that just...
Oh, he's back.
Oh, he's back.
If it does it again, I'm done. If it does it again, I'm done.
Let us know. Let us know before you continue, Patrick. Let us know your favorite thing.
The aristocrat joke that he tells, the dirtiest joke ever told
Oh,
in
yes.
the world.
Yeah.
That thing is fucking hilarious.
All right, Patrick, go ahead.
Oh god, I feel bad now. For me, it's obviously him as Iago and Aladdin. As I said, him and Robin Williams were the breathing light and everything, the shining lights of that film. Like, if it wasn't for them, personally, I don't think Aladdin would be as memorable, because their energy in that movie as Genie and Iago was just absolutely incredible. And need I mention, just through his performance alone, the amount of physical comedy brought from a voice performance to the animation of Iago was just incredible. And
yeah, it was very sad to hear. Again, I don't know too much about him outside of Iago, but it was a name you heard about all the time. All the comedians knew who he was, and you just were constantly aware of him and what he did for comedy, really. So yeah. All right, Patrick, if you don't mind, while I read the next question, if you wouldn't mind opening another tab to check also Zach's. No, the next question should be yours. I'll check.
Yeah, I've got
Zach's tab. Don't worry.
I've got 3 questions. Yeah.
Go ahead.
So the first question I've got is also from Lady Erin, asking me, and I'll also give it to you for now as well. What's your favorite movie so far this year, and what's your least favorite movie so far this year? This may be too early to ask though. LOL. Favorite movie so far this year, even though it does have some narrative issues in regards to time jumps, Jujutsu Kaisen 0 was fucking fantastic. I loved every second of that movie, and it made me realize how much more interesting Yuta and Rika are as characters in comparison to our main character in the anime. My biggest issue with the anime is how bland and uninteresting our main character is, even with Sakuna, who should definitely be more in the forefront as the cursed spirit in comparison to our human protagonist, because Maki and Panda and Gojo and even Jogo are way more interesting characters than our main lead, whereas Yuta and Rika-chan as the cursed spirit to Yuta in Jujutsu Kaisen 0 were always way more interesting in a 2-hour movie in comparison to a 10-hour season.
All right. I will tell you got completely different points of view on Yuta. I found him completely bland outside of having that curse. Like, by the end of that film, no spoilers, but I was like, this guy is not interesting anymore. It's done. Not that Yuta. Not to say that Yuji is the most interesting character. He's interesting. I like him. He's a likable character, but everyone is uninteresting compared to Gojo Satoru. Gojo Satoru supremacy, baby.
Oh, he's fucking great. I love
the
Gojo.
Best character. My favorite movie of the year so far is The Batman, and my least favorite movie of the year is Blacklight. Anything?
Least favorite movie of the year? Morbius. Morbius was hilarious. Morbius, even though it's my least favorite movie of the year, I had a blast. I laughed my ass off the entire movie. It was an absolute riot.
All right. Next up, Nathan Holton as well. Are you excited for Jurassic World Dominion? I really despise Fallen Kingdom. That trailer got me, goddammit. That trailer is dope. And the poster is really cool as well. What about you, Patrick?
I just don't care. I'm not that excited. I'm very uninterested in Dominion. Even that trailer, I was like,
dinosaurs in the city.
But I also wanted that with Alien versus Predator. And when we got an Alien Predator in the city, I'm like, wow, this honestly isn't that interesting. And from the trailer, feel like I'm going to be sucked back into that sort of aspect again. And I don't want to be tricked at this point. It's one of those things where I'm going to have to wait and see. But as of right now, I'm just not that excited. It's one of those, I have to see it first before I can really say anything.
All right, from Lady Aaron. Have you seen the trailer for Stranger Things Season 4? If so, are you guys excited? And are you 3 in this case, or 2, because it's you and me now, fan of the Stranger Things as a whole? I finally saw that trailer like 2 days or something after it had come out. Because I'm not the biggest fan. I like Stranger Things. It's a good show. I was never like enamored with it. I was never like, holy shit, this is the greatest thing ever. I will say though, This trailer is quite good. The soundtrack to it, the music that plays is fucking dope. And that last shot, that's obviously Billy coming back, which I'm not complaining about, by the way.
Wait, what?
That's one of the best characters. What?
I haven't seen the trailer.
Oh, I mean, it's in the trailer, so it doesn't count as a spoiler, but now I feel bad.
I know.
Now I feel bad.
It's all right. I am a big Stranger
And by the
Things
way,
fan.
I don't know that. I'm just like,
Oh,
to
no,
me,
that's
it's
all right.
obvious, but I don't know.
Well, look, I guessed ages ago if Hopper was returning, Billy's returning. It's a no-brainer anyway.
Yeah.
Like,
because if
I
Hopper
just
didn't return, I wouldn't watch this season. I will tell you right now.
Yeah, especially when, even though I loved season 3, 11, who was like the best part of season 1, and especially season 2, considering season 2, in my opinion, was not very good. 11 was easily one of the most boring and uninteresting things in season 3, no matter how much I think season 3 is the best of the 3 seasons. It's just because everything else in season 3 coming to fruition is so good. Oh, he's back.
It's not gonna work. I'm gonna lag out again. I already know. So
I just read a question from your chat. So
okay.
But are you excited, Patrick?
I'm excited. I'm very excited. I love Stranger Things.
Zach, are you excited for Stranger Things season 4?
Yeah,
don't talk about the trailer because Patrick hasn't seen it.
Okay, I love the trailer, so I'm very excited. It made me excited. I was kind of over it. I love the last season. I thought it should have just ended, so I'm happy.
Isn't it splitting into 2 parts as well, released in May and July?
And then there's another season.
Yeah,
and that one will be the final one. And
but they're only splitting it.
Will be the final one.
They're splitting it because they didn't. All the VFX warehouses are backed up, so they can only do half of the first season. But I don't believe that. So
yeah, me neither. All right, Patrick, it's your turn.
What was your favorite awards season movie this year, and what was your least favorite, and what was your favorite awards season movie this year? It's basically the question. Favorite Coda. Coda was bloody fantastic. I loved everything about Coda when I eventually watched it, and Ren knows why I love one of the characters so much, especially the performance because of Doctor Who, and seeing her in this was really, really amazing.
I didn't realize it was her.
No, I didn't. I hadn't even seen the movie until you pointed it out to me, and then I'm like,
"That's right." I remember I told you because you're one of my few friends where I'm like, "Hey, he watches Doctor Who. You'll get the reference."
Yeah.
So I immediately messaged you, and then I was like, "Oh!" And you told me you didn't watch the film, so I was like, "Definitely watch it because it's fucking amazing." And yeah, it is. I'm glad you loved it.
Least favorite, Licorice Pizza. I'm sorry, I hated that movie so much. I couldn't stand it.
For favorite Dune, Coda would be my second favorite because out of the nominees, a ton of stuff I didn't quite love. My least favorite, Don't Look Up. Licorice Pizza would be my second least favorite, but Don't Look Up I think is a worse movie than Licorice Pizza. Zach?
Dune is my number 1. Don't Look Up is my number 2, and 3 is Licorice Pizza. But let me say this: like I think Don't Look Up is not an Academy film, but I laughed my ass off watching that movie. And then Licorice Pizza, I have a feeling that I don't know what it is. Like I grew up in California, my dad grew up in that time period. There's a lot of stuff that I have nostalgia for in that movie, so I feel like that's why I feel latched onto that one. My least favorite was Drive My Car. I thought that film was not good. I was so fucking disappointed watching that movie. I baffles me it was nominated. Worst person in the world should have been nominated over that film for Best Picture. I'm baffled by that movie.
All right, Nathan Holton. Have you seen the rumors of Jodie Comer / Brie Larson in Thor: Love and Thunder? No. I haven't heard a single thing from Jodie Comer, and I know quite a few things about that movie. Brie Larson, I've also not heard, but would it be the most shocking thing if she was in the movie? I don't think so. Patrick?
I've heard nothing, but again, I'm not really versed on really hearing that stuff at the moment because I've sort of stayed away from Twitter and other social medias as much as I can these days. Again, would it be surprising? No. As you said, like I can see that happening, but I haven't heard shit. So,
Zach?
She's not in the movie.
Okay.
All right.
What's the next question, Zach, from your community tab?
Whew. Eric Thorpe Reviews asks, with Amazon owning James Bond now, do you think we'll ever get a series set in the world of Bond? If so, what would you want it to be?
What would I want it to be? I don't know. It could be anything. When you ask ever, the answer's got to be yes. The Broccolis have said, no, Bond is a cinema thing. It's going to stay on the big screen. Sure. For a long while, I bet it's going to. Eventually, at some point, maybe neither of us will be on Earth at that point, but at some point, something on TV is going to come out of the James Bond universe.
Yep.
What do you think, Zach?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to see anything. I really don't care to. I would rather just get more James Bond adventures. I mean, honestly, if you're gonna do a spinoff, the time's now. I mean, for Ana de Armas's character and
Paloma.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, like, that's where that is. But other than that, no, not really. I don't really need one.
All right, Patrick.
I still haven't finished No Time to Die. I'm not a Bond fan.
My God.
I honestly, at this point, I'm just sitting here going, sure, why not? But it's not really going to affect me because, in all honesty, I'm probably not going to see them anyway because I've just never been someone who enjoys James Bond. That's just me personally, though. I understand why people enjoy them, but they're just not for me.
All righty. Do you have a question then, sir?
What films are you guys looking forward to in the next couple of weeks from Movie Fan?
What's coming out in the next couple of weeks?
Multiverse of Madness. Yeah. I've got Northman and Firestarters this week, and actually, I'm really excited because I finally watched the first Downton Abbey movie the other week.
Yes,
because I actually got my invite for Downton Abbey: A New Era, and I'm actually kind of.
I apologize, everyone. I got a little bit too excited about that.
I'm actually kind of excited now.
It's so good.
I'm honestly just mainly looking forward to stuff coming out in the later portion of the year. One in particular was what is it, from the same guy who did A Silent Voice, I think it was, his new animated film coming out. Suzumi no Tojimari.
I know someone that's seen it.
Is it the Netflix one, Bubble?
No. It's the one about the doors. What's the English? What's the actual title called? It's from Makoto.
I know what you're talking about, but I know someone that saw that film.
Did they say it was good?
They said it was amazing. So.
All right. While we wait for Patrick to find a name, yes, Downton Abbey, A New Era, and I might have some huge news about that film, but I'll leave it for another time.
For what? Doctor? Are you talking about Doctor or Downton Abbey?
I just said Downton Abbey. Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. You should all be very excited, but I've seen it.
I see that Monday.
I'm going to see that again Monday because we have an unlimited screening. My review goes up on Monday, by the way. But yes, Downton Abbey: A New Era, Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness, Top Gun: Maverick, baby, and Men. Those are a couple of the ones coming up very soon that I'm very much looking forward to.
Patrick. I finally saw Top Gun.
All right.
I couldn't have been more bored. I'm sorry. I think it's a staple of the time, but I think I came to it way too late. And I'm sorry, Tom Cruise does not give a good performance. I
hate this man. I'm never having him on the show again. I don't know what I did to deserve this.
There is no English title as of yet, but what is it? Motomo's new movie is called Suzumi no Tojimari, which is a movie about a modern action adventure road story where a 17-year-old girl named Suzumi helps a mysterious young man close doors from the outer side that are releasing disasters all over in Japan.
All righty.
I'm very excited.
Next question. Lady Aaron, what are some of the biggest and most pleasant surprises in terms of movies that you have seen? I'm going to give you one. Let's all give one so we can move on to the next one. I was not excited for this film. Every time I saw one of the trailers, it hurt my heart because I was such a big fan of the property from growing up, and I still watch the show to this day. But then I saw the movie, and 2017's Power Rangers was actually pretty good. It wasn't great. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't in my top 10 of the year. But the fact that I enjoyed the film as much as I did, the fact that it understood what the property was, the fact that it understood the characters, utter sigh of relief that I let out watching that film, and it was quite a big surprise. Zach?
I honestly zoned out.
All right. Patrick?
Biggest surprises in regards to movies?
Mhm.
I've got two, and that's because I grew up either watching the show or I grew up seeing either the OVA or reading the manga. And I've got to say, the live action adaptations of Speed Racer from the Wachowskis, as well, which I, by the way, think Speed Racer is very underrated, the movie. But also, Alita Battle Angel was fantastic. I loved Alita Battle Angel, and I went in expecting to hate that film. And I walked out being like, holy shit, that was actually a great time, like in every way, shape, or form. And the trailers really didn't impress me at all.
All righty. Next one is wait. Yeah,
Do you
the
want me to
last
do
one was
one?
me. Zach, what's the next one?
What are some TV shows that you would consider to be guilty pleasure shows that you've watched? This is from Lady Aaron.
Big Bang Theory.
Usually TV, I don't let myself watch if I don't like it.
Yep.
Movie, like it'll be done in like 2 hours, in an hour.
No,
and 30
Emily in Paris. Don't you count that as trash?
Ah, yeah, that's a good one. Good,
So,
good.
I've
Shot,
never
Zach.
seen
Good
it, but
shots.
I just
I mean,
remember you
it
saying that
has
a lot.
Lily Collins. I cannot be blamed. It
So,
has Lily Collins. So
yeah.
yes, I will. Watch.
For me, I would say Walking Dead, but it's not even a guilty, but I just thoroughly enjoy it. So I don't really watch, like, if I don't like
You're
the
a
show,
masochist.
like I won't watch it. Like The Flash, I don't know how the fuck you're still doing it, Ron.
Well, I didn't know either, but this week, god damn it, they got me excited.
And then they're gonna disappoint you again.
I know. But I've been at this for 9 seasons. I'm not gonna quit now. It's not as bad as The Walking Dead, at least. Patrick, what about you?
Catch up on The Walking Dead. I can guarantee it's better.
Next for me, I've got one from Eric Thorpe Reviews. If you guys could cross over any live action iteration of a Marvel character with any live action iteration of a DC character, what characters and iterations of them would you pick? Really, Aaron? Just hold on.
Don't worry.
You go first, Ren.
Henry Cavill's Man of Steel. And who'd I go to from Marvel? I think Henry Cavill's Man of Steel with the Eternals, because a lot of the internal
cool.
conflict there is the same, because they're both godly beings.
Yeah.
Dealing with a lot of philosophical, existential, internal struggle. So I think that'd be interesting. What about you, Zach?
Ben Affleck's Batman and Oscar Isaac's Moon Knight.
I can see that.
Why not?
Patrick?
Hawkeye and Green Arrow, just so the debate can be fucking settled.
Nice. Nice. If that confrontation had Hawkeye from the comics, the winner would be Hawkeye. But in the movies, good shout, they're on the same level. So because they're both human. Hawkeye is not enhanced in the movies. Next up. What are the best concerts that you guys have ever went to and why? Okay, so best concerts. Every time, well, it only happened twice. But every time I went to see Iron Maiden, it was a stunning spectacle of a show. And Dragon Force. When I watched Dragon Force, it was this really small, like this, it almost looked like one of those school gyms where people... not a proper gymnasium, but an arena to practice PE or something. This really small arena, there were like 300 of us there, tops, couldn't have been more. But it was such a great experience, and it was one of those experiences where everyone is like this really hard-looking metalhead, but then everyone was super nice. Everyone was there having the time of their lives. Whenever somebody fell down in the middle of a mosh pit, everyone was like, stop, let the person get up. They got out. It was just an amazing environment and good music too. Patrick, what about you?
Concerts. I'm gonna have to say the Wiggles, because I haven't been to a real concert since I was 4.
Oh wow, okay. I don't
just
even know what the Wiggles are.
It's an Australian.
You don't know the Wiggles?
No.
Hot potato.
I even know the Wiggles. Yeah.
Hot potato. Hot potato.
I don't know.
Hot potato.
Do not recognize that.
Potato.
You know they're doing shows again, Patrick, right?
Yeah, but it's not the original Wiggles. I don't want anything to do with them. They're fakes.
The old
Okay.
guys?
Right.
It's the exact same people. They're just old as fuck now.
What are they? Hang on.
Yes. They're
I
doing
need tickets.
concerts.
Patrick, what about
Original.
Patrick? Not Patrick. Zach, what about you?
Foo Fighters. The only concert I've ever been. Well, I've been to two. I've been to 2 Foo Fighters concerts and then the Who. And the Who was pretty fucking good.
Oh,
Old
the
as they
Who.
are
I love
still.
the Who.
Yeah, dude, they still kick ass. So,
Alrighty. Zach, what's the next question?
what are your guys' favorite movie theater foods? Andrew Self said this.
Popcorn.
Mine
A
is
simple
popcorn and taking
basic bitch.
M&Ms and sprinkling it all in there and shaking it and then pouring butter in there.
That sounds like diabetes.
I mean, that's what
It
you go
is.
to the movies for.
Yeah.
Patrick, what about you?
A 2-liter bottle of Pepsi and Sour Patch Kids from Woolworths.
All right. I know what Woolworths are. I know. But that's only because I watch MasterChef Australia.
Yeah.
I don't like the original MasterChef. I only like the Australian version. So there you go. Do you have any other questions, Patrick? I know you didn't have any.
Favorite Australian TV shows and movies, most underrated ones. Favorite movies, I have like a tie between the three of them. Rogue, which is a movie about a 26-foot crocodile, is criminally underrated, especially the practical effects of the 26-foot croc featuring Mia Wasikowska. It has Sam Worthington. It has John Jarrett and everything in it. It's really damn good. It's like a Jaws psychological thriller, but they're like stuck on like a small island in the middle of a river being basically hunted by a 26-foot croc while a tide is coming in and they've got to find a way over to land. It's a very intense film. Obviously, I've got to go Gallipoli, one of the best war films ever made. And then obviously for my favorite Australian TV show and movie, because there's both of them, Wolf Creek. Wolf Creek is phenomenal, and the TV show is just as good.
Alrighty. Like I don't, off the top of my head, I don't know exactly everything that is or isn't Australian, so I'm going to give you two. One of them is The Nightingale, which is a very hard watch, but it's quite a good film. And The Rover. Fucking love The Rover.
Yep.
TV shows, MasterChef Australia, I guess. Because I don't know any others. Off the top of my head, at least, I don't know any others. Zach, do you have any?
Kangaroo Jack.
No.
They don't accept that as Australian.
Okay. What's that movie? Is it called Revenge? I think that's what it is. I'm pretty sure that's an Australian one.
There's a movie called Revenge. I don't know if it's Australian.
The one with the girl?
Yeah.
That's a French film.
That's French?
It's French? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that the one about the girl who's left for dead and she fights back about the three guys? Yeah, that's a French film.
Oh, then I don't know.
Alrighty.
Very good film, mind you.
All right. Next up, we got what are some movies that made you angry with rage after you watched and finished them? I'm not going to answer that because you all know the question. Patrick knows the answer. Zach knows the answer. Everyone watching right now knows my answer. So, Patrick, why don't you go first?
Jaws: The Revenge. It's either that or Human Centipede 2. Wow.
Never wasted my time with any of
those. A Serbian film in particular, actually, recently. Holy fuck.
It's not anger that I feel on a Serbian film. It's regret.
It's both for me. That was a struggle to sit through.
Yeah. Zach, what about you?
Now I'm just distracted that he put a Human Centipede 2. Ren, you go first. I gotta think.
You know the answer. Patrick, what am I going to say?
Dragon Ball Evolution.
Oh,
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I mean,
all
right,
I don't
Zach.
Know. I don't have one. I don't know. There's a lot.
You don't
of
have
movies.
one. All right, Zach. What's the next question then?
Andrew Self, what are your thoughts on Emma McKay and Will Ferrell joining the already stacked Barbie movie?
I couldn't be more excited for this movie. I don't
I'm
believe
more excited to
those
see
words are
this.
coming out of
I'm
my
more.
mouth.
I'm more excited to see this than Oppenheimer.
Right now, yes. I said this last week. At the moment, yes, I will agree. I'm more excited for this than Oppenheimer because I mean it's starting off from a place of advantage. You know, it's got Ryan Gosling, it's got Margot Robbie. It's being directed by Greta Gerwig and written by Greta Gerwig and her husband Noah Baumbach, who did Marriage Story, and Marriage Story is fucking incredible. So yeah, I'm quite excited for this film. So yeah. It was your question, right, Zach?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Patrick, do you have any others?
I do not, as a matter of fact.
All right, no worries. What are some of the funniest movies this is from Lady Aaron, by the way, that you have ever seen that made you laugh so hard? I'll give you my two favorite comedies of all time, Hot Fuzz and The Big Lebowski. And at the screening of Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, I was crying from laughing so hard. I was gasping for air, and a lot of my fellow critics at that screening were the exact same. So that's not the glowing recommendation you're.
Is it still 100% on Rotten Tomatoes?
I don't care about Rotten Tomatoes. So
I'm just curious if it is, because that's what's like.
I don't know.
You sounded like Venom there.
Eddie, come on. You love me. You just say you love me, Eddie.
97 now.
God damn it. Who's the fucking sourpuss?
A guy named Mark Hansen. Despite the clever setup, Tom Gormak's film isn't the self-reflexive skewering of Hollywood that one might expect.
Huh?
So your negative only meets... Your negative is only about how the film didn't meet your specific expectations. I think there's a lot of flaws with that criticism, but okay. By definition, by the way he says it at least. All right, Zach.
Ren and Zach, have you played the new Lego Star Wars game? If so, what are your current thoughts on the game so far? I'll just say this, me and Patrick have a review coming out, so we're going to stay out of this.
Oh, it's too long.
I have not started yet, to my eternal shame.
I spent
Don't
an
say
extra
anything,
5 hours.
Patrick, don't. Just watch our review when it comes out in a couple days.
All right. Oh, I like this one. So many answers. What are some TV shows that got canceled too soon and should have went on for more seasons? Firefly, Flash Forward. Is it Alive or Awake? The Jason Isaacs
with Jason Isaacs.
Awake?
It's Awake.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awake. Netflix. They just abruptly canceled it.
Cowboy Bebop.
Mindhunter. Cowboy Bebop is a good one, Patrick.
Yeah.
Good shot.
What is it? Rascal Does Not Dream of Bonnie Girl Senpai. I'm just gonna say
what that means.
It's an anime. It's
okay.
got one of the best MCs of any anime, in my opinion, and it's only had one season in a movie. Firefly as well.
For me, Pushing Daisies is one of the most underrated shows ever made. I love that show with Lee Pace. Definitely should have gotten more seasons. Awake, still criminal. That was probably the last show I actually watched on television, week to week. I love that show so much. Mindhunter's another good one. Cowboy Bebop. That's probably it for me.
Alrighty.
Grimm actually ended too soon, in my opinion.
Grimm was another good one.
Never saw that one. Never saw
Grimm's
that
very
one.
good.
Zach, your turn.
With Barry coming out a week from Sunday, I know Zach is a big fan of it, but has Ren been able to check it out yet? And if so, thoughts?
I watched Barry from the moment it came out. I followed it week to week. And then on season 2, I fell off for some reason that I can't remember, so I need to get back on it. But yes, what I've seen of Barry, at least, I fucking adore Barry. I was one of the earliest people saying, everyone should watch this show. And then I fell off, so I'm kind of a hypocrite in that way.
Patrick, have you seen it?
I've never seen Barry, no.
You should watch it. It's amazing.
I don't even know what I'd watch it on here in Australia.
VPN it.
Is it on HBO Max?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, I just need to use my VPN. I've got a mate's account I use.
All righty. Zach, do you watch Barry?
I love Barry. I'm so excited for the new
Alright.
season.
Okay, this is a tough one. Nate Ankenbauer. Say you're put in charge of building a better DCEU. What are some of your first actions of business? Man of Steel 2 is coming out. I am streamlining the DCU. I'm giving it a proper direction. And like they're finally doing, or at least they say they're finally doing, I am giving the reins to a Kevin Feige-like figure. We need a shepherd to steal the herd.
Who would you? Who would you get?
Fuck. I don't know, because the thing, it's complicated, because the thing of a Kevin Feige-like figure, nobody knew Kevin Feige before he became Kevin Feige. So you want that person. You want a person that right now, me, Patrick, you, everyone watching, we don't know who the fuck this person is. But it would be the right person for this job to shepherd it all.
Mhm.
But right now they're not famous because they're still not the Kevin Feige-like person to assume that position. So I wouldn't want anyone I already know the name of, because anyone who I already know the name of is probably very good at what they do, whatever it is they do, but it's probably not the right person to be that kind of studio head. So I don't have a name. I don't have a name. But Zach, what would be your first order of business?
Same thing as you, man. I mean, get me a Man of Steel 2. Just start doing a clear direction. Because I love that the DC, you know, I saw one tweet out. Someone was like, well, if they do this, then it's going to be more like the MCU and they're not going to do as more vision stuff. No, they can still do that. The thing is I love what they do and let their directors go. The problem is they don't have a direction for what to go. They announced a Green Lantern show fucking years ago.
True.
No word on that thing for the next 2 years. They have casting, they have everything of that. They announced a Green Lantern movie, nothing. They announced this, nothing happens. Oh, reactionary this. Oh, Blue Beetle's going to be HBO Max. No, now it's going to be a movie. Oh, Batgirl, Michael Keaton's going to be in it, and it's still supposed to come out this year, which makes no fucking sense how you are going to release that this year without seeing The Flash. They don't have direction. They have no fucking idea of what they're doing. They need just a fucking plan and stick to it. I just hope that they still let the directors do what they want. Let James Wan do his Aquaman. Don't come in and pin a point and be like, it has to be in this tone. It's just like the comics. Every comic's different. When they come together, that's when, you know, you mix the tones, but you have fun with it. So I don't know. They just need clear direction on what the hell they're doing. Like they just need a plan, and they have to stick to it. And I want to ask you guys this. Who do you think is worse at planning? Sony or Warner Brothers? Because I saw this debate going on. I would go Sony as well.
I would go Warner Brothers because they are worse at planning. Sony clearly does not even plan for shit. So I gotta say the WB. Patrick, what about you? What's your first order of business?
For one, scrap any idea of releasing them in a set order. Actually make a fucking plan with the movies we have right now and get a release schedule. And not only that, write a blueprint as to where we want these fucking films to go without them being too convoluted and messing up its own franchise, whether they want it to be separated franchises or combined like an MCU fashion. Have your separate stuff like the Batman and Jokers, and then have your combined shit that is like the MCU. Actually have a set plan rather than having it all be all convoluted. Have a blueprint, have a path to go on. So therefore it's not so messy as it is right now. Because that's one of the most frustrating things with this DC stuff right now with these movies, because it doesn't feel like there is a plan.
Yeah,
Yep.
True. All right.
I'm going to take one more, by the way. I'm going to take one more before I got to go.
Eric Thorpe reviews. What do you guys think about Multiverse of Madness being 2 hours and 6 minutes long? I was surprised when I heard that it came down to this runtime. But I will say what we said on the Batman, what we said on Venom Let There Be Carnage. The runtime is not a good or bad thing. It depends on how they use their time. And they've shown me enough where I trust them with the runtime that they decided to have. Would I want more Doctor Strange? Yes, because I remember that at the time, the Marvel movies were stretching into 130 minutes, 135 minutes. And then the original Doctor Strange still came out to like 118 minutes or something like that, just shy of 2 hours, and this one is just slightly over 2
But
hours.
it is probably under 2 hours. Take out the end credit scenes and just leave the
Well,
credits. It probably
sure,
is
but
2 hours
the other one
exactly.
is not even that
Yeah.
with the credits. That one is 18,
And they get a lot done
118.
in that. So,
But they can get a lot done. It just feels like Doctor Strange, the character, gets the short end of the stick. But again, the runtime is neither a good or a bad thing. I trust them enough to believe they will use their runtime wisely. So we'll see. Here's hoping, but right now it doesn't get me more or least excited. I sure would want more Doctor Strange, but if this is the runtime they feel they need, this is the runtime they need. Zach.
I trust Sam Raimi. I feel like a lot of his movies, I've never had an issue with the runtime with any of his movies. Not all of his films are perfect, that's for sure, but I do love him as a director, and I think what he does best in a film is the pacing and a runtime. I think he knows what it needs to do. 2 hours and 6 minutes is great. It's smart. I know there's rumors going around that there was an original cut that was like 2 hours and 40 minutes. I'm sure a lot of what they cut personally is stuff we already know. Exposition heavy stuff of setting up the multiverse and stuff like that. We already know it. We know the basic concept of it because of things like Loki, because of Spider-Man, and because of WandaVision. Well, WandaVision really dabble in that, but we don't need to know where everyone really is. They might have a throwaway line here and there that's like, oh, this is what happened in Westview or something like that for the people who
Unless
didn't
it's
watch
Peter Parker.
WandaVision. Yeah, but he's not in this. And I don't think
No one knows
has
who he
anything
is.
to do with this. But I don't know. I don't care. Let me watch the movie. I might watch the movie and be like, why the fuck was that not 20 minutes longer? And not even on a biasness, just personally, like, it felt rushed. Venom Let There Be Carnage feels rushed. So, but Batman, 3 hours was perfect for that film. So,
All right, Patrick.
Runtime doesn't make a movie. Sure, as Zach said, it might feel rushed at times, and I might ask the question after seeing it, why wasn't it this much longer? But I could also think the same thing and vice versa, given it being 2 hours, 6 minutes. I could also feel the opposite, where it could feel too long.
Yeah.
It depends on how it's all made. And not only that, I need to mention, Sam Raimi isn't known for making big, long 2.5 hour to 3 hour movies. Spider-Man 1 is shy of 2 hours without the credits. Spider-Man 2
2 hours 6, yeah.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2 is 2 hours and 6 minutes with credits. And then I look at one of
That's
my
this
favorite movies.
runtime. Connected.
Yeah,
It all makes
exactly.
sense.
Whereas one of my favorite movies of his ever is only an hour and 35 minutes, and that's Drag Me to Hell. Sam Raimi makes very compact movies, but it never feels rushed or too short or too long for that matter. He's very good at this, and I trust him as a filmmaker. I honestly don't care about the runtime. I care about the movie as a product itself. I have no issue whether it's 3 hours, 4 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour, 30 minutes. I just want the movie.
Exactly. Zach, you want to say goodbye before you leave?
Yeah, I'll say goodbye. This week I got a Bad Guys review coming up. Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, Moon Knight. Probably some other things that I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, that'll be fun. Then we'll be back here again talking. I don't know what we're talking next week. Ren, do you know?
Not yet, but we'll find out.
Probably Nicolas Cage, right?
Probably Nicolas Cage, or we need more Viking movies. Good Viking.
Oh yeah, because the Northman does come out.
There's not that many of them.
So, all right. Anyways, thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your day and have fun.
Thank you, Zach. Enjoy the movie. Bye-bye.
Sayonara.
Have a good Saturday. All right, Patrick. What are your thoughts on House of the Dragon and Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, still a stupid name, airing at basically the same time? It's awesome. 2 high fantasy shows airing at the same time. Let me enjoy it. I love it. One's going to be on Sunday for sure. The other one's probably going to be on Friday. So I see no issue with that.
Yeah. As a fantasy fan, this is a dream come true. And they're on separate streaming services. So therefore, one won't overshadow the other. People will be able to bounce between, especially on separate release days. Please, yes, thank you. Oh, and one of them features the Doctor himself.
Yes, the best Doctor. And I will say, the only issue that's going to come out of these shows airing at the same time is that Twitter is going to be insufferable in comparing the two and pitting one against the other.
And then
So
the
that's
stuff
not going to
that's
be
already
fun. But the
there,
shows themselves,
return to
me
power.
watching those episodes, one on Friday, one on Sunday, one on Monday, because it's going to come out late to me as an European. But that's going to be awesome, man. That's going to be awesome.
I'm excited.
Speaking of Sunday, this Sunday, MasterChef Australia Season 40 commences, and I'm super hyped.
Season 40? What the fuck, man?
What the hell?
It's not even the number of seasons that shocks me in that show, Patrick. It's the number of episodes, because it's 61 episodes. But the thing is that I found out, at least the last season was 61 episodes. But the thing that I found out is that they don't air like week to week. Like they take place like it's like one on Sunday, then another episode on Tuesday, then on Thursday, like 3 or 4 episodes per week. So
and they go for like
makes sense.
20 weeks. They go for like 10 to 15 weeks of the year, and there is like 3 episodes released a week.
Yeah. Exactly. I just got hooked in this last season, in season 13, when the new judges came in and whatnot. I was like, yes, I like this. I like these guys. I like the contestants. I like food.
It's one of the reasons why I don't watch Australian live action TV, because it becomes exhausting. Like the only reality TV show I watched recently in Australia was Beauty and the Geek, but that's because it actually like meant something to me. It's like opposite worlds, beauties and geeks. They get partnered up. They have to compete challenges, and they got to see if opposites can attract. That's the gist of it. It was actually quite sweet, and actually was way better than it was back in the day, because now the definition of geek was something you're passionate about rather than being like, oh yes, oh my god, I wear glasses sort of thing.
All right. If the Flash is recast, who would you guys want? Lucas Till. He played Havoc in the X-Men prequels. He played MacGyver on the TV show. He's a really good actor. He's got the right age range. But if we want to be optimistic, if we want to go Dreamcast, pick Grant Gustin out of the Flash TV show, put him in the movies.
The Flashpoint stuff's happening with multiverse stuff.
Yeah.
Why not just bring him and click him
just,
up and put him in there?
Just shoot a last-minute post-credit scene like Morbius did, and have Grant Gustin show up like, oh, what the hell? I look completely different. And close it off.
And it's just a WB exec going, and I'll take you. Exactly. And just plucks them out.
Okay. You froze for a second. I was like, no, let me lose him as well. All right. Do you have any suggestions for Flash?
There was one I thought of, but I just can't remember off the top of my head. He was younger. You know who'd be a really good Wally?
Sure. Who? I don't like Wally.
What's his name from Stranger Things?
Which the Finn Wolfhard?
Yeah, that's him.
Oh, all right.
But as for Flash, I
don't like
have
Wally
no
West
idea.
too much, but
I don't either. But I think Finn Wolfhard would be a good Wally West at least. But in regards to a Flash recasting, honestly, the only person I can think of is Grant Gustin, because he's already perfect in the role. Why make someone new Flash when you can just have this Flash and pluck him out, finally end the show, which has just gone downhill, and put him into the DCEU so he has movie roles now?
True story. All right. We did the James Bond one. Okay, so there's a Harry Potter theme park, but if there was a Game of Thrones one, what would you want as the main attractions? You gotta
Getting to ride a dragon harder than Daenerys.
You ride the dragon. There should be one where you go from like the castle, the palace in King's Landing to like the slums of King's Landing. That would be interesting. There should be one that has to do with the wall, or even the wall and beyond the wall, where you see all the
Battle for Winterfell as well.
The whites and what's the Night King species name? Fuck.
Shit. It's been a while. I haven't watched Game of Thrones since season 8 finished.
Same, the Night King. The Night Game.
You need it. Okay, you need an
White Walkers.
attraction.
The White Walkers. Where
White
you see the
Walkers,
White
that's it.
Walkers, where you see the First Man. That would be interesting.
You
And
need
then
an
there should be
attraction
one.
from Cersei and what is it, Jamie, in regards to the whole relationship thing. You need to have an incest attraction.
That attraction is just you climbing a tower and then somebody pushes you off.
It's not just that though, but this is the 18+ adults only lounge.
Exactly. All right. Oh, hang on. I'm trapped in just Eric Thorpe's question.
Just like Jamie was in
Joe
that
Fletcher.
relationship.
What movie will be better, Thor: Love and Thunder or Doctor Strange 2? Well, right now it's at a disadvantage because we have 2 trailers for Doctor Strange 2. We're just on the hype of the marketing, while we still have barely anything on Thor: Love and Thunder 2. But in the interest of fairness, I'm just going to judge them off of my excitement from their previous movie. So Doctor Strange 1 or Thor Ragnarok, which one leaves me more excited for the next one? Doctor Strange 1. So I'm going to go Doctor Strange 2. What about you, Patrick?
No comment because I refuse to judge on pre-marketing. I would rather just wait until the movie comes out. I don't do that thing where it's like, which one's going to be better. I personally don't do that because that's just unfair in my opinion. I'd just rather give every movie a chance fairly.
All right. What movies do you hate with a passion? Also from Joe Fletcher. Same answer as before. Dragon Ball Evolution is despicable. And
Death Note as well. The live-action Death Note movie, even though the director is very talented, that movie was an absolute nightmare, even with Willem Dafoe attached as Ryuk.
All right. Will Discovery restore the Snyderverse? No. And could we get more announcements in May? Maybe David Ayer, Suicide Squad? God, I hope not. What changes are coming? Well, they announced the changes that are supposedly coming, but in the interest of moving forward, they do not want to move backwards and break stuff. Snyder is done with that. Snyder doesn't want to do anything more for WB, be it superheroes, be it DC, or not. He wants to do his own thing, and right now he's happily doing his own thing. I cannot wait for Rebel Moon.
Neither can I. I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, but no, they're not restoring the Snyderverse. They shouldn't restore the Snyderverse because Snyder himself is done, and God, the less I see of the David Ayer cut, the better. But yeah. Jigo EP, I'm working on expanding my... Sorry, Patrick, I didn't go to you. You chimed in but I didn't go to you.
It's all right. I don't think they're going to bring it. I just... Look, the less I hear about the Snyder Cut and Discovery bringing it in, and then the less I hear about David Ayer's Suicide Squad, the better, because to be frank, it's become a cult at this point. It's just ridiculous. Snyder's done. Affleck's done. Ayer's never going to get his cut made because it's too far gone at this point. It's not going to fucking happen. And people need to realize this. And the sooner that Discovery openly says it's never going to happen, the worse it's probably going to get, because people are going to be like, oh, what the fuck, we'll just do it ourselves. And I'm just going to like, but how can you have a Snyder Cut sort of thing, or the Snyderverse, if Snyder wants nothing to do with it? Because he doesn't want anything to do with it.
Yeah. Amen to that. Jico EP, I'm working on expanding my vinyl collection. So my question is, have you ever gotten introduced to a song through a movie or show? Not an original song or score, like a popular song. For example, the Guardians movie introduced me to a lot of 70s and 80s music like Fleetwood Mac. The Guardians movies are a great example. I don't remember like specifically what I discovered through them, but there's a ton there that I didn't know. Ryan Gosling, Russell Crowe. It's an incredible film. Should have gotten a sequel. Nice Guys. Thank you. That introduced me to a lot of music. Happens all the time, so I can't quite pinpoint what I learned, what I discovered from where, but it happens all the time for sure, brother. What about you, Patrick?
Vinyls and movies that introduced me to particular songs. None really, because I grew up in a household where
movies or shows that introduce you to songs or bands or artists that you didn't know prior.
That's the thing. Like, I've never really had that because I was a musician in high school, and being a musician, I listened to a wide array anyway through music classes from different eras, ranging all the way back to Bach, all the way through to modern day. But I
Nice.
also grew up in a household where I grew up listening to like Susie Quattro, Prince, Meatloaf, all of them. So there wasn't really that movie, but the one TV show that made me obsessed with one in particular that I was already like a fan of when I was younger, but reincarnated my love was The Boys for Billy Joel. Like I already knew of him, but The Boys through the character of Huey just made me obsessed with Billy Joel and especially Piano Man and We Didn't Start the Fire, two of his best songs ever. And I actually had one of his albums on vinyl at one point where I'd listen to Uptown Girl on repeat.
That's a good obsession to have, Billy Joel, the Piano Man. I love it.
Piano Man's great.
GGOP, if you guys were on the Rotten Tomatoes is Wrong podcast with Mark Ellis, what would be some films you would defend or oppose based on their tomato meter? So I'm going to take I don't know exactly what any of these movies have on the tomato meter, so I'm just going to assume they're rotten and I'm going to defend them. Treasure Planet, Man of Steel, Real Steel, and that's it. That's 3 right there. Let's not abuse the system. Patrick, what about you?
Ghost in the Shell 2017.
Yes! Oh my God,
Ghost in
yes!
the Shell 2017 is one of the best live action. It is the best live action anime movie ever made. ScarJo's perfect, and people saying that because she's not Asian, it's not good. Bullshit. She's a shell, for fuck's sake. She's not white or any ethnicity. That argument has always
and it's exactly the point of the film, even if
exactly
you want to go with
you watched the movie, that's the point of the movie. And look, even though it's not the most interesting villain from the anime and manga, the fucking what's his name? Even though I wish it was the Puppet Master,
Michael Pitt.
Yes, he's still great in
He's great.
Ghost in the Shell. I think Ghost in the Shell 2017 is fantastic. I think it's a great movie, and it's sitting at only 43%. I think is really unfair.
And let me jump off of what you just brought up, because I want to, in case this episode explodes and it sends us into stardom, we're still waiting on Clint Mansell's Orgasmic Score that has never been released, and I fucking need that shit. I don't know why. I mean, we're 5 years. It's probably still hasn't been the 5th year anniversary, but
it is March 2017.
March. Okay, so we've already jumped on the Give us that score. What is wrong?
It's fantastic. Ghost in the Shell 2017 also has some of the best visual effects ever put to screen, in my opinion. It's a gorgeous movie.
Yes. I remember, by the way, I went to see that film with probably 5 or 6 of us. At the time girlfriend, she didn't know Ghost in the Shell. I was like, I want to see this film because I love Ghost in the Shell and it actually looks good. And by the end of that film, I was like, holy shit, this is really good. And she was like, that was really good. I really liked it. And then the 3 or 4 other people are like, yikes, that was not good. And I'm like, fuck you guys, I hate. And now I live with one of them.
Is that what's her name?
Bruna was the one that loved
That's it. Bruna, yeah.
And then the other one, Lewis, in case he's watching or ever watches it or is hearing me just outside my room, he didn't like it. And it's kind of like the movie, it's kind of his thing. It's that kind of sci-fi that he enjoys.
Yeah. I grew up loving the anime. It was one of the first animes I was introduced to, and I've always been a fan of Ghost in the Shell. I even then went and read the mangas and everything because of it. I think as a live action adaptation of the anime, I think it's a great movie on its own and as an adaptation. I just wish we got that sequel. But it will never happen because it earned nothing at the box office.
Yeah. Okay, this one's just for me. Hey, Ran, also from GKOP. Are you excited about Adam Sandler and the Safdie brothers teaming up again after your favorite movie, Uncut Gems? Can only go up from there, brother. So, I mean, gotta be excited because it can't get any worse. What about you, Patrick?
I try to forget Uncut Gems exists because it just assaulted my senses the entire movie and not in a good way.
It's a violation on my hearing that I did not my hearing. My hearing. I knew I was saying a correct word, but not the correct word for this specific occasion. All right. Picture this. Also, still from GKOP. Picture this. Imagine A24 making a superhero movie. I can see it happening. It's going to be a very different superhero movie, but I can see it happening. Not from Marvel, from DC, but I can see it.
I can
What about
see
you,
it being in
Patrick?
the same vein as Brightburn. It could be like a
Well,
Brightburn type situation, a very self-contained
but better,
superhero movie.
hopefully.
Way better, hopefully. Holy crap, Brightburn was
I,
awful.
I don't think it's awful, but I was like, that was all right. Okay, yeah.
I didn't
Like it
like
has a
Brightburn at
potential
all.
for much more.
I walked out of
Um,
that being like, wow, is that really what it was? And I was just, I couldn't have
I
been
thought it
more
was all
bored.
right, but I was disappointed. I was disappointed. I will say that. Um, do you guys find it hard when criticizing a film you were meh or hated, but not coming across as mean, recognizing the hard, I'm going to assume hard work that goes into making a movie? Absolutely, 100%. Actually, it's much easier when you actually don't like when you actually really dislike a movie. It's much easier to be constructive. I know it doesn't make a ton of sense when I say it, but it's true. It's much easier when you're like, I hated this movie. You can be much more constructive than if you just find it meh, because meh feels more the meaning, because meh didn't hit you in any particular way where you kind of
No.
even struggle to remember the craft for so many people that
Yeah.
went into that film. But when it comes to a horrible film, like that hits you in some way. Like I'm going to give an example that I know Jacoby isn't into wrestling. I know you aren't into wrestling, Patrick. But when someone in wrestling, when a wrestler comes out and people just boo the shit out of him, that's awesome because they're reacting. He's hitting
Yep.
them he's connecting to the audience in a certain kind of way.
And a
If people
reaction is
don't
a good
react,
reaction.
exactly. If you come out and people are dead silent, that's when you're in trouble.
That's the
So
thing.
yeah.
Like, if I was a filmmaker, which I eventually want to go into the craft of, I'd rather someone hate my movie, like absolutely loathe it, than them just be middle of the road sort of because I
Yeah.
know that if they hated my movie, they will remember it and it will have a lasting effect. Whereas if it was just meh, they won't remember it in 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or whatever. And I found that with a lot of meh movies that I get home and when I go to review them, especially back in the day when I was doing more reviews in comparison to what I am now, I found it harder to review those mad movies because movies that I thought were awful, I could remember because of the lasting effect. Same thing with great movies. But that's also why I tend to not review bad movies or movie I portray as bad anymore or movies that I think were just all right. I try to only review movies that I absolutely loved and feel like I have to talk about because I just want to support the industry. And there are other movies out there like The Matrix Resurrections, which I didn't like, but I reviewed because I wanted to support the art of filmmaking in a way of giving light to, Lana Wachowski being one of the first trans directors to be able to make a big blockbuster film. And I wanted to encourage people to see it so that her and many other trans directors and filmmakers got those opportunities. And I think that's where I stand right now. I personally won't really comment on a movie that I think is absolutely awful because I just want to support it. And, there's constructive criticism to be found, but I don't want to be mean because someone poured their heart and soul into this and I want to lift them up rather than tear them down. And there are ways to do that, but I'd prefer to uplift them in a different way. And that's why I reviewed it. Matrix Resurrections the way I did to support it for Lana. And that's just where I stand right now, personally.
All right, we have 4 more questions, so let's do them in rapid fire kind of way because I want to get
Lightning
to them all
round.
since we're almost done. But I want to get to them. All right, movie fan, would you guys like to see a modern day Wizarding World film? To me, that's just Harry Potter, but sure, because I didn't realize Harry Potters were set in the 90s until much later, and I grew up with that shit. I didn't realize it until like 2018 or something. I was like, oh, that was a little bit into okay. I didn't realize, but yeah, it feels a little bit like it's just Harry Potter. But I guess if you want to move forward with the world, yeah, sure. What about you, Patrick?
I'd like to see a more modern day approach. And that's something I tried to say earlier, like a 2022, 2023 Harry Potter Wizarding World universe. Because technically, if you think about it, by the time that the story of Harry Potter at the Deathly Hallows ends, that's technically in the future to where we were when those movies came out. Because
Yeah,
it's 19
I
years
just
after
fear
they
that if
graduated.
I fear if they do, a modern world, there will be wizard-specific apps that only they can download, and I fear what they do with that concept.
That's
And
the
I also
problem.
fear that I just gave them an idea, even though they probably didn't think of that before.
So we're just
blame
cutting
it on
this
me if
section,
it
I presume.
happens. Steve Kloves is like, holy shit. That's brilliant.
No.
Movie fan. Hey, Ren, what was your favorite LFF film from last year and least favorite? Favorite was Spencer. I fucking adore that movie.
Yeah, that's great.
Least favorite? Oh, Mothering Sunday. Mothering Sunday is fucking awful. It's a movie with a lot of naked people. They got me to say, put some fucking clothes on. That should never happen
Right,
when
so
you have naked
what's the
people.
movie called again?
Mothering Sunday.
I'm just kidding. I'm not going to go watch it.
Okay. No, I thought you wanted to note it down so you could avoid it. Oh, this is a good question. Can someone tell me what's going on with Guy Ritchie's next film, Operation Fortune? Really wanted to see this, but it keeps me getting delayed. Movie fan, it doesn't keep getting delayed. It was delayed once, and I'll tell you why. It was supposed to come out in March. It was like March 25th or 18th, one of those weeks.
18th.
18th. I'll tell you right now in a simple sentence why it was delayed. The villains in that movie are Ukrainian.
Oh.
Exactly. That's all you need to know. Like, not saying anything about Guy Ritchie, like, how could he have known? He didn't specifically, I'm going to cast the Ukrainians. No, it just happened that it's an Ukrainian person, but because of real world events, there wouldn't be too many good optics if it came out at that time.
Which is completely fair.
Yeah. All right, and last question to celebrate one of my favorite working actresses today. From Tony Movie Chappie, since today is Anya Taylor-Joy's birthday, I wanted to know what's your favorite performance from hers. The Witch is my favorite performance from hers.
The Witch.
Though a good shout out to The Queen's Gambit, which was my favorite TV show from 2020.
Great show.
Love that show. Love that show.
I'm excited to see her in Furiosa when that eventually happens. I'm excited. Super excited to see her in that.
Fantastic in The Northman as well.
I haven't seen it yet. As I said, I'm excited.
I know.
I agree. The Witch is her best performance, and I will even say shout out to Last Night at Soho. She was great in that movie as well. She was so fucking good.
Fucking good in that. I love her. But yeah, one of the best actresses working today, and she just delivers banger performance after banger performance. And that is it for this week in Geek. Thank you all so much for joining us. If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you to Merk Lee, thank you to Apists, and thank you to there was another Merk Lee, Apists, and Max Bolton for your donations, for your support of the channel, and thank you all for your great questions on the community tab. Love seeing you guys engage on the live chat. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, thank you for listening to us. Don't forget to rate us because that really helps the show and puts it out there for more people to join the community. Patrick, thank you for joining us this week. What do you got coming up and where can people find you?
So coming up, I've actually got my movie reaction for Jeepers Creepers, as well as many other horror films coming out over the next couple of weeks. I've also got anime reactions now starting on the channel, where I'm going to be reacting to every single episode from season 1, the only season of High School of the Dead, as well as now the new premiering series on Crunchyroll and Funimation with season 4 of Data Live, which episodes 1 and 2 reactions have been recorded, and I'm really enjoying it so far. But a bunch of anime reactions. I'm seeing The Northman and Firestarter on Wednesday, but Firestarter's embargo doesn't lift for a while due to that movie being released in May. But I've probably got those reviews coming depending on how I feel on those movies as well.
All right, Monday I have my Unbearable review. My Unbearable review probably is an Unbearable review because it's my review of The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent drops on Monday. That's already scheduled. There's a cool thumbnail already out there for you to check out. Tuesday, X2 X-Men United review drops. Wednesday, our weekly reviews of Moon Knight drop as well. And I'll probably get to The Last Stand this week as well. Tons of X-Men reviews are coming, and I don't think there's like a big release this week, but like I said, Downton Abbey: A New Era is almost here, and I have some big things coming for that movie. I stumbled upon a great opportunity for that film, so I cannot wait to share with you guys Again, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in all those reviews. Go check out the X-Men review. It's right now up. Let's discuss the comic book movie that made the world we live in today possible. Everyone, thank you so much once again. And until next week, love each other and love the movies.